Hello. In this video, I'm going to be critiquing cybersecurity entry-level job postings, and by the end of the video, you're going to have a really good idea of what exactly is required within a cybersecurity job, along with a lot of different roles within the field. If you're new to my channel, this channel is all about helping you upskill into cyber, and also I did just launch a new program called Upskill to Cyber, where I actually teach real world projects based on a lot of these skills that I go over. If you don't have any experience, this is a great way that you can get your hands dirty in a structured environment. If you're interested in that, I do have a link below in the description, so you can go ahead and apply. I'm not officially launching until June 1st, and so enrollment is until then. So let's get started, shall we?
What's up? So let's get started. So my original plan is just to go over remote cybersecurity, entry-level and mid-level type of jobs, and just explain what exactly is going on in these job descriptions. Some things to keep in mind is you don't have to meet all of the requirements. That is just their dream list. Also, remember that these are often created by junior level human resource professionals that don't actually work in cybersecurity, so some of the terminology may not make sense. The first job description is Junior Cybersecurity Analyst. Now, this one is doing security assessments for cloud-based systems, so maybe in Azure or AWS. NIST regulated systems tells me that this might be a government job, and looking down here, it looks like I'm right. Now, the thing that I don't understand is it also supports remediation and tracking of identified deficiencies. Usually people who do the security assessments don't also remediate the things at a workplace, because that is usually separation of duties, and that in itself can be a security concern. Plan system, identify and document security. Okay, documenting, you may do some scanning, reporting, which is more documentation. And I was right about it being a US government system. And it looks like you only need 1 year of experience in these things. Change management. If you work in any type of IT job, you probably already have change management experience. Exposure to SDLC. It says exposure, so you don't really have to have any experience in this. You just need to know what this is and how it works. If you work with any type of developers and they're implementing any type of software security, you probably have exposure to this. Assessing and remediating security findings. These are two different jobs. You need to know knowledge of the NIST 800 series. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a set of security guidelines that's absolutely mandatory for the federal government, but for the private sector, they're more like guidelines. They're still extremely useful, and a lot of private companies do use SP 800 series, but they're not mandated to by law. It does look like you're going to need a clearance for this. Clearances can be a little bit tricky to get if you have any type of debt or you don't pay your bills, because most people are denied because they have bills that they don't pay, and there's no reason that they didn't pay them. Now, if you have a bunch of medical debt that you couldn't pay, usually there's a reason. So they look at the whole person. This one isn't too bad of a job description. I would say they're being pretty reasonable with their requirements. How much this pays, I'm not really sure. But this would fall underneath vulnerability management or GRC, depending if they have you actually remediating things or just assessing systems. Let's look at this firewall engineer. So firewall engineer falls underneath network security. This is not an entry-level job. You're going to be making ensuring availability here, which is part of the CIA triad. If you don't know what that is, it's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And cybersecurity evolves around those three things. They're going to monitor, triage, and respond to similars. This one is different than a firewall engineer. This is more of an analyst position. When I think firewall engineer, because I've worked with firewalls, who's going through and ensuring firewall rules are put in, and firewalls can be layer 7, so you could work with a web application firewall, and that is a lot of alerts So I can see if it's triaging and responding to that, and then generating incident cases and escalating. So to me, this is more of a SOC analyst position, and you're analyzing different things. It actually doesn't say anything about firewalls in here, except down here where it says you want firewall experience preferred. This develop perform tasks associated with installation, turnup, and maintenance of security infrastructure. So that is much different than monitoring, triaging, and responding to SIM alerts. These are two different jobs, and most likely you're not going to be performing both of them unless it's a small company. Present as technical expert. So it might be a consulting type of position because you're going to be delivering solutions to clients. Train and mentor colleagues. So what do they want you to have? Verbal skills, analytical skills, technical workload, and engage senior technicians in management. I have no idea what that means. What does it mean to engage senior technicians in management? No idea. Monitor solid working relationships. Okay. So a lot of this is people skills. I'm guessing it's some type of consulting role. Experience in a security operation environment. Okay. And firewall experience. So I'm confused on what this job is because it's so many different things. You're going to be making complex changes within the security environment. That could be firewall rules, and you're going to be resolving customer fault and service outage events. So this is a network engineer position. This, however, is a SOC analyst position, teaching and implementing customer-generated change requests. So you're going to be working at an MSSP for some type of consulting product. And most times within cybersecurity, you're going to be working in a security operations center, or you're going to be working in an MSSP. So this one, I think, is just too many jobs. All right, vulnerability assessor, vulnerability researcher. So you're going to be researching and keeping up to date with vulnerabilities and probably relaying that to the company so they can ensure everything is patched. Analyzing data from scanning tools, this falls under vulnerability management. And I would say, so build scripts and software modules to verify the presence of vulnerabilities. So here you might be writing out scripts or software to check different systems if they have those vulnerabilities. Depending on the size of the company, you can actually do this with Ansible, which is not that difficult to learn. This one actually isn't like a terrible job description. Let's see, a security engineer analyst. This right here, it's either a security engineer or a security analyst. I don't know why they named it an engineer analyst. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. So this is from Ancestry. So this security engineer analyst position falls under governance, risk, and compliance. And here you're going to be managing the PCI compliance program. And you're going to be evaluating security controls to confirm that there is adequate coverage of requirements from standards, policies, regulations. So here it's an IT auditing position, essentially, to ensure PCI requirements are met. Let's see. The requirements, if you don't know what that is, we can actually just here. Right here is PCI DSS requirements. So it's just a quick guide. So install and maintain a firewall configuration to protect card holder data. And it literally goes through all of the steps that you need to do to ensure that you are in compliance. And so auditors will go in and they will check for these rules to ensure that you're in compliance. And if you're not, you can get fined a lot of money, especially if you're a financial institution. So you are actually going to save the company a lot of money by ensuring that there is compliance. Reports to Director of Risk and Compliance. And this, it looks like they're requiring 2 to 4 years of IT compliance. I would take that with a grain of salt and understanding of security assessments and frameworks. NIST 800-53, if you don't know what that is, it's a set of controls that look just like this. So in order to Doesn't mean that if you implement these, you don't have any vulnerabilities. It just means that you've done your due diligence. And for instance, security awareness and training policy and procedures are a control. So you want to ensure training policies are like here, not too difficult. A self starter, familiar with common technology solutions, firewalls, WAFs, databases, endpoints, antivirus, applications, servers. All right. So if you have your Security Plus, you should honestly be good to go on that. This is not that difficult of a job to do, and it's 75 to 157,000 remote cybersecurity job. That is not too bad. Let's look. Here is another IT cybersecurity remote specialist job. And it looks like this is going to be vulnerability management. And you're going to be installing patches to address security deficiencies. And this usually was like an entry level IT job. And the pay shows, I think they're putting cybersecurity into the title to make it seem more cool. And so people will accept less pay because they're working in cybersecurity. And learning Nessus and soft Excel, SCM, it depends on what you're going to be doing with that. Desktop remediation services. This is not difficult to do. So I'm not sure why they're asking for a bachelor's degree or 8 years of experience for $50,000 to $60,000 to work here. This is an entry-level job. You don't need a bachelor's degree to do this at all. Desktop remediation services literally is where people start. So I guess if you slap cybersecurity on it, now people are all over it. I don't know. So let's see, a cyber defense analyst position. All right. So to me, this is what a traditional SOC analyst is, or security operations center analyst. And you're going to prepare, detect, respond, and mitigate cyber threats. So it's 24/7. So oftentimes these people will hire in and you will start out at a night shift. So think 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning. It really messes with your sleep. Some people enjoy that. So if that's something that you like, oftentimes these people will love you because I'm not working a night shift. They're going to triage security incidents, in-depth analysts using various resources. So this is a lot of fun. So OSINT, you could also go to IDS systems, firewalls. All right, so you're going to do a lot of analyst type activities. Usually a lot of these companies will have remediation steps in place. And then if you're just starting out, you're just going to be following these procedures and then escalating it to a higher tier if you don't really know what is going on. Threat hunting, containment, and remediation of threats during incidences. Yeah, it's pretty typical. Conducts threat hunting activities. So you'll be going through a lot of different logs. A lot of tickets, you'll still be going through the ticketing process. If you can make well-documented tickets, that is so valuable. Assist with service requests from customers. Okay. So remember, this is like tier 1. So you're going to be doing a lot of ticketing and triaging and working with customers, executive written updates and reports. Assists in training junior team members as needed, which is weird because I thought this was a junior level role because down here it says you only need 1 year of experience. Configure and manage security tools and platforms to optimize intelligence value alert. So if we look here, if you don't know what this is right here, I actually have Security Onion open. You'll probably be working in something that looks like this. And Security Onion is a huge network monitoring tool that, as you can see, like you have all of the events, and this is the dashboard. So you may be creating some type of dashboard according to your environment. It also has alerts. So you might be looking at all of these alerts, and all of your systems should be feeding into this monitoring system. So then you have everything in place. And then also you can do threat hunting through this platform, and you can open up cases within the platform. Design and develop methodologies. I don't really think you're going to be designing or developing anything at this level. So develop dashboards within the tools for analyzing relevant alerts and logs. That would be right here, alerts, and then dashboards right here. Knowledge of business industry required. You're probably going to be working a night shift. Identify network and endpoint traffic activity. Okay, that is not hard to do, and find patterns. Highly investigative mindset. I do also go over that. Okay. So it does say that you are required to have a security certification. This might be due to a compliance reason. The only reason I would suggest a cybersecurity certification is if it is for compliance reason. It says etc. So I wouldn't let this bar from you. And then 1+ years in a SOC analyst role, you can get that experience without being in a SOC. If you're in a NOC, sometimes these are combined. Knowledge of threat analyst, incident response, and network security. So you're going to do analysis of alerts from various cybersecurity detection tools, highly dependent on the company of what actual tools you're going to be using. So let's go to cybersecurity technical content writer, another entry-level remote job. Here you're going to create cybersecurity content, blog posts, how-to guides, white papers, and case studies. They're basically saying they don't hold clearances. If you have a clearance, they're not going to keep it for you, basically. You could probably learn how to do this within a month. So how-to guides, blog posts, articles, presentations, white papers. Honestly, you could probably go to and literally it would probably just give you a really good starting point, and you could probably create a blog post really quickly. That's literally what most blogs do. Now, don't just take this, right? This probably is not the best, but it is a really good starting point. Searching and interviewing cybersecurity experts, that just sounds like a lot of fun. Researching end users' data. To me, this is like a technical marketing position. So you're going to be interviewing research end users, but you're also going to be talking to people about the company documentation, and then also with other teams to ensure that their blog is good. So kind of seems to me like you're going to be like a content writer, content marketer, but also a technical writer. So this is two different jobs. But at smaller companies, oftentimes you will be doing that. In an enterprise, these things are often more siloed. All right, so SOC Analyst 1, another great entry-level cybersecurity position that is remote. So it's 24/7. So that's something to think about if you want to do a night shift. All right, so you're going to be triaging security events using established procedures. That means there's going to be documentation telling you what to do. And it's going to be in monitoring platforms. So again, something like this. Web proxies, and this probably has all of the logs, IDS, IPSs, malware, SIMs, DLPs, and oftentimes you're going to have so many different logs, and you'll have to take a lot of different alarms and then see if they're related or there's an incident. You're going to assist with responding to potential security events. You're going to document techniques. Okay. Maintain situational awareness, so you're to keep up to date with what exactly is going on in the cybersecurity field. Develop and maintain documentation, so it's document. Remember, half of your job working in cybersecurity is going to be documentation, and so you're really going to need to get good at that. Go to any hiring manager and tell them that you are good with documentation, and they will absolutely love you, because most people aren't. So correlate data from multiple sources, and these are all different logs, and oftentimes they will form a trail of what an attacker is doing. Understanding Linux, compromised, okay. So if you understand basic MITRE attack framework, you should be good to go with that. Let's see, IP network fundamentals. I don't know why you need to know Python. I can understand PowerShell. If you're at a SOC Analyst 1, PowerShell can be super useful in terms of deciphering things or running things, including understand concepts such as malware, hunt. Okay, you don't need a degree. I wish To me, a degree is just like America's version of the caste system. You're not going to learn like all of this. You could learn literally within probably 2 months. And yet they still require you to have this random degree. You may be like a technical genius with a really high aptitude, but you have to have this degree. To me, it's so silly. Let's go to the security analyst position. So this is an analyst one, so it is an entry level remote cybersecurity job. You're going to be establishing and implementing security policies, standards, and guidelines. This falls under governance, risk, and compliance within the cybersecurity field. To leverage their established subject matter expertise to drive progress and to overcome obstacles. I have no idea what that means. You're an analyst one. You're not going to be a subject matter expert. And then how are you going to leverage this to overcome obstacles? I don't know who wrote that. Illustrate a level of ownership and accountability of assigned initiatives. So it's in the medical field. Fight information protection goals. So probably security controls. As I said, here's a list of security controls or protection controls. Lead investigation efforts into any alleged computer security. So this tells me that it's different. Implement and administrator practices and monitoring tools. Okay, so that's not difficult. Ensure compliance to information security policies. And that's where it confuses me. Are you going to be working in a SOC or are you going to be working in GRC? Maintain and update disaster recovery procedures. Okay. Monitor logs. Keep abreast of state-of-art security techniques. Lead investigation efforts. So you're security analyst one. I really feel like you're not going to be leading anything. Well, develop reports upon request. You can do that. Recognize and identify potential areas where existing policies and procedures require change or where new ones need to be developed. So this is every company. Almost no company has like really good documentation. So I guess if you are trying to follow an SOP and it's not correct, make sure that you fix it. But I wouldn't fix it without going through some type of process. Monitor servers and networks for intrusion attempts. So again, right here, you're monitoring. Report on any security violation. Okay, and then on this, you're going to ensure compliance to HIPAA, SOX, and PCI. These are different industries. This is like the healthcare industry, the financial industry. They take payments, maybe. Build team spirit by assisting and coaching staff members. Ensure all changes comply with change management. This is a terrible job description. I hate this. This is way too lengthy and doesn't really tell you what you're going to be doing. So you need 2 years of experience in information security. However, this is a security analyst position one. After 2 years, you should definitely move on with your life. This is an entry-level position that they're putting this arbitrary random thing. In the lieu, meaning 1 year of college, this is stupid. I don't know how 4 years of college, says that you're experienced. This is just ridiculous. 2 years of experience administrating security technologies. And here, now they're going to be doing scanning, related to scanning. But up here, it was definitely an analyst position. This is the most confusing job description. And you know what? They have 3 stars. I can definitely tell why. Yeah, associate, data privacy and cybersecurity. Let's see what you're going to do here. This isn't much of a job description. Usually associate is entry level to mid level. All right, info security analyst position. So this is a bank, so it's going to be payment card industry. So they're going to be under financial regulation, so PCI DSS. And it looks like you're going to be doing vulnerability management here, costs and risk analysis. So that's part of GRC. Promote awareness of policy and strategy. Awareness of policy is usually a management type of task. maybe just like a promoter of security practices within your team. Review audits. So serve as a consultant and advisor. So this is a consulting type of position, maybe. Assist with policies. So GRC. I'm still confused on what you're going to do. Support design, validation, and completion of assessments. That tells me you're going to be an IT auditor. Ability to translate PCI requirements. So can you convey technical knowledge in an easy to understand way? And honestly, that's not hard to do. Look, we'll just copy this. Like I am 5. All right. Imagine you have a secret clubhouse right there. This is how you could do it. Okay. Risk-based analysis. You're probably going to be doing auditing of some sort. So you're going to need knowledge of PCI DSS. This is also, you're going to have to keep up with the news, and you're going to need to understand risk management process for assessing and mitigating risks. Yeah, right here, assessing and mitigating risk. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing a GRC analyst position, basically. It's not that difficult to do. Let's go to cyber defense analyst. All right, addressing compliance and operational effectiveness of technology, security controls, and vulnerabilities. Translated into this, it's going to be a governance, risk, and compliance position. So right here, you're going to be doing vulnerability scans. You're going to be monitoring configuration management controls and reviewing them. So ensuring that they're in place and in compliance. Monitoring, detecting, and reporting any threats directed towards the organizational system. The 10%, you may also be cross-trained on this, but this is a full-time job right here. So most of the time, you're going to be doing this based on risk and threat intelligence. You're going to work in remediation and compliance. All right, here's an auditor. Audit testing and document tests. Execute IT audit testing and general controls testing and document test work performed. I don't know what this means. Execute IT and document test work performed. Okay, got it. So you're going to be doing IT audit testing and documenting it and trying to figure out the root cause analysis, summarized test result and conclusion. This is silly. This is saying the same thing. This is a poorly written job description. What is that? Participate in IT audit engagement planning activities. All right, so you're going to be performing audits. Process improvement. All right, so that falls under governance. This is an entry-level job, 57 to 128,000 a year, and you only need 1 year of experience. The rest of this is definitely an entry-level position. IT cloud security engineer. Now this job interests me. So perform patching, vulnerability scanning, backups, technical support, container-based. All right, you're managing like the infrastructure. Delivery of analyst support. So you're ensuring availability. Okay, so maybe this is a DoD position because DISA STIGs, hardening and compliance with DISA STIGs and remediating vulnerabilities. So again, here are STIGs. You want to know what STIGs are? Here are what STIGs are. We'll just go here and bam. So you have to ensure, here's like the vulnerability, the finding ID, and then here's the severity of it. And then here is what it must be a vendor-supported version. So it has to be up to date, basically. So if we even copy this and then we go here, how would I fix this? Honestly, ChatGPT is so great. You need to update the software to a newer version. That's literally what hardening a device is. I have done this. I have also done this, just not in Azure. But Azure is not that hard to figure out. Configure, update, and maintain security tools, compliance scanning. They're heavily on Azure. But so you're going to be documenting, participating in response sizes. That's not hard. This isn't a very difficult job, and it's $100,000 fully remote. You're going to document. Are you noticing that most of these jobs, you need documentation? But then they like drop network firewalls, like Palo Alto. It just talked about Azure. I don't know. Experiences with Azure, vulnerability management. That's easy to get. Hands-on experience with configuration of firewall, Splunk, Nessus, easy. Trend Micro. I've actually never heard of that. Twistlock, Kubernetes. I actually just started digging into this and it is very fascinating. And it looks like they are a consultant company for the DoD. How these companies work is they go to these customers and then they do a contract with, say, the government. And then they have so many positions and then they hire you and rent you out to these companies. So, for instance, I have worked in contracting and the government may pay this company, Stack Armor, $300,000 for one person. However, when you get hired, they're only going to pay you a third of that. So they like to keep their margins 33%. So you may get paid $100,000. So just remember when you're making $100K or $200K, the company is basically making $200,000 on you. So, all right, cyber defense analyst. Monitoring and detection of threats. Analyze system and security events, threat and vulnerabilities. Identify potential malicious malware. All right, this looks like a pretty good one. So you're going to monitor security events and escalate verified alerts. So again, you're going to be working in something that looks like this. And if we go to alerts, right here, you're going to have the alerts, and then you're going to make a case. If you see that it should be escalated to a tier 2, tier 1. That is actually not bad. Conduct analysis of network traffic. Okay, so you're going to have logs, or maybe you'll be doing a PCAP. All right, so that's documentation, by the way. Perform threat hunting activities. So you may be going through all of these logs to find threats. Now, as a SOC Analyst 1, you may or may not be doing this. Like there are entire jobs just for threat hunting, but if you know how to threat hunt, that is definitely an added bonus to any job you go for. Identify IOCs, which is indicators of compromise. All right, too easy. This one is actually not bad. So Security Plus, again with the degree, I wouldn't let it discourage you. Creating queries, scripts, regular expressions. Super important to know regular expressions. This one's actually not bad. Of a cybersecurity job posting, 60 to 75,000 remote. It's not bad for an entry-level job. So Information Security Engineer 1. What are you going to be doing? This is monitoring, triaging for a DoD or federal, and it's 24/7. So you might be working a night shift starting out, and you're going to be monitoring highest level, responding to alerts within a SIM or Splunk common, firewall alerts. Okay, so you're going to be going through a lot of logs and alerts. You're going to be escalating and triaging tickets to tier 2. Documentation. Performs long-term project leadership role working towards the development of new solutions. You're probably not going to be doing this as a security engineer 1. Add to all defined. So documentation. I don't know why they have that here. That's also documentation right here. Process. Frequent contact with senior leadership. I think they put that here because you have to have people skills. And so there's some type of tripwire. So this is just a bunch of tools. So Splunk, really any type of SIM should be fine, but I guess they use Splunk. Nessus is super easy to learn. It's not hard. I don't know if they use multiple vulnerability scanners. Maybe. Identify reports and alerts within Splunk. So Splunk is a SIM, and one of the most popular SIMs. It's, however, not that great, but everyone uses it. Analytics, experiencing managing firewalls. This is more of a network security position. Again, you're probably not going to need to know all of this for that job. And they want you to have this, which tells me it might be a DoD job because of the 8570 requirements. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the Department of Defense has approved certifications that you need to get. So if you need to get it for compliance reasons, such as the Security Plus, I would highly suggest it. Now, I don't think you're going to get hands-on experience. You'll definitely have to do that. So endpoint engineer. All right. And so I'm going to end this session here. Let me know what you think below in the description. And also, if you're interested in learning any of these things, I actually do have my program, Upskill to Cyber, which I am launching on June 1st. And I don't accept everyone, so you have to go and apply. But I essentially go over most of the things that we just saw within all of these job descriptions. Also, you get 2 live calls every week with me to help you troubleshoot your issues and also with any career and negotiation of job offers. It teaches you a framework of thinking so you don't have to remotely memorize a bunch of things because ChatGPT can do that way better. If you're interested, go ahead and apply below. It is literally better than any boot camp for a fraction of the price. Go ahead and apply. I will see you in the next video. Bye.